whenever you need me, because I may not be seeing. Uh, I'm on the screen, so I won't be able to see what is going on in the chat window, something like that.
Yes, sir. Sure.
Yeah. So I mean, as this slide says, that sometimes we know the price of everything, but the value of nothing. Um, yeah. So as students and as we grow in our lives, so I mean, if we remove our childhood, most of the times when we are like say above 20, that is when we always are thinking something which is attached with price. So uh, all our decisions in life are very much money driven. They are kind of connected in some or the other way with money or price or those kind of things, and that is where most of the times people go wrong, that when you start taking your decisions based upon price or money, then you really lose the real essence of value in life, which is what is most important. So I'll take you through some life lessons, which are some of my life lessons. Some of them I practically experienced when I was with PEC and then my MBA. So I can myself relate with some of these, and then maybe some of you guys might relate these as well. Uh, Now this diagram is from a very famous book, Start with Why, and the author is Simon Sinek. Uh, Now, if you see, this is known as a golden circle, very famous diagram. What happens is most of the times, as humans, we start with what, uh, and then we quickly action what and how, and most of the time we are busy in what and how. So today you guys might be busy in the what and how of your PECFest, maybe without understanding why PECFest. Uh, Sometimes when you start your college in first year, you just get started because either your parents told you to do that, or maybe you saw somebody doing engineering and you also started doing engineering. But most of the times we people don't understand the why behind the decisions, and that is where we go wrong. That uh, your decisions should be inside out. So you should actually identify your why first and then talk about how and what. But most of the times uh, people go wrong, and then they go outside inside, which is they start with what, and by the time they figure out the why, they are too old, or they are, yeah, I mean, it is little too late to discover the why. So very important to discover your why in early days. And whenever you do anything in life, not only during your college, but let's say when you are getting married, or when you are kind of taking your job, or when you are shifting from one city to another city, or when you are taking any larger decision of life, if you start connecting with your decisions with why you are doing those, I think your life will be more meaningful and more peaceful. Otherwise, many times you might take decisions which might be wrong decisions, and you might repent later if you don't understand why you took those decisions. Uh, the second slide I wanted to talk about is, and then this is a regular phenomena in every college, every company. So many times students start feeling that, hey, I don't have any special talent. What should I do? I mean, most of the students in my class are much better than me. They have great talent, or they are good in something, maybe music, maybe sports, maybe education, maybe speaking skills, and so on. But many times people feel that I am good for nothing, and I don't have that right skills. So uh, I have seen that every human being comes with a special talent, and people just miss out in discovering that talent. So any person who comes on earth, I mean, comes with some kind of a talent, but we generally don't give enough time to kind of discover that talent. Sometimes the person himself doesn't know about the talent. Somebody else has to help him to discover that. Maybe your teachers, maybe your colleagues, your friends, etc. But everyone is actually born with a talent. And I will give you an example. When I was with when I started my engineering and post engineering, also my MBA, sometimes I also had that feeling that, hey, what is this guy doing? I mean, he hardly knows anything to do with engineering or to do with MBA. But when I started spending time with that person, then I realized that this guy has something very special. So I recall a guy who was hardly able to speak proper English, who used to score very bad in his exams. Uh, Most of the time absent-minded, was kind of lifeless, was not active in any of the activities like your Lizames or your Daniels or whatever you talk about. Uh, but after 1 or 2 years, I was actually good friends with him, and I found that this guy was very, very talented when it comes to uh, designing engineering stuff. So you give him a problem, and then he can design it so well. So let's say if you tell him that, can you design a great computer, so he can actually design the hardware of that computer. You say him that, okay, can you design this particular um, product, which is a hardware product. Just give him the problem statement, and then he actually comes up with a great technical solution for that. So many times people don't understand their own talent. Sometimes the others don't understand your talent. So don't get worried about these things. Don't feel disheartened when you are not able to um, discover your talent. Try to work towards discovering the talent, because once you know that, yes, this is something which you are good at, then you will do wonders. But don't feel bad about if somebody is kind of not looking at you with respect, or if you yourself should not be at, I mean, your self respect should be very high, and you should be working towards that. uh, I'm sure that all each one of you would have actually watched this movie Three Idiots. I mean, uh, almost a decade old movie, but very, very relevant, and was relevant when we were studying and is relevant even today. That uh, focus upon what you love, rather than you are kind of just doing just to keep somebody else happy, or maybe your parents or your family happy. Rather than that, I would say that do something which you believe that you are deeply interested in doing that. So if you are, let's say, studying metallurgy, there would be students who are in metallurgy or production, etc., etc., and they might get a feeling that, I wish I could have got some better marks and I could have maybe got computer science or maybe electronics. And then after the fourth year, I would get a great job and a great salary. And then most of the people, then they switch their careers. They were actually interested in maybe mechanical engineering or metallurgy or chemical, but just because of external stimuli, you tend to change your pure interest, and then you start doing something else. But I mean, believe me that you don't go a long way when you are not interested in doing that thing. So when you have to do something, do it with deep interest. Do something which you love. I mean, and then especially in the current era or the current decades, where the world has given you enough opportunities to kind of showcase different kind of talents. I mean, you don't need to be only a computer science engineer, or you don't need to be only a cardiac surgeon to kind of prove yourself as a professional. There are so many exciting careers opportunities out there, and just pick what you are deeply interested in. So studying in an engineering college doesn't mean that you have to come out as an engineer. I mean, you maybe post engineering you can join marketing, or maybe you can join design. You might be joining as a DJ, VJ, and then so on. Uh, Talking about opportunities, so many times we start feeling that opportunities will come to me, but actually you have to find your opportunities. You have to find your niche, that okay, this is something which you are really good at, and this is where you can make your career. So what I have seen is people who work towards their core expertise and their interest, they do wonders in their career. So let's say that if you are a if you are a student of computer science, and you don't have any interest in programming, then it's fine. I mean, it's perfectly fine not to have interest in programming. If you are in computer science, maybe you might be interested into design, or you might be interested into marketing. So then try to take out some time from your computer science classes, or your day-to-day time, to work towards your interest, which is, let's say, design or marketing or whatever else. So that when you are out of the college, you are not taking a career which is like a stupid programming career, which you are not at all interested. And even if you take that career, you won't be doing well in the job, because somebody else will be doing better than you, and hence you will fall very badly. So rather than that, yeah, so there are faults in the education system, where, I mean, in engineering only gives you 10 options, and you have to pick and choose the option right in the first year, where you hardly know that career itself. So when you are out of the 12th class, you are asked to choose metallurgy or the production system, etc., but you hardly know the M of metallurgy, and then you are expected to kind of choose your branch. Now that's very funny. But I mean, we can't change the education system so fast, but you can change yourself. So even if you are stuck in a wrong career choice or a wrong branch because of different reasons, try to take out time, and significant time, to spend your time on your interest, and just do just do only which will help you get the passing mark, so that you don't flunk or you don't fail your exam. So at least do something which helps you get your degree, but work strongly towards your real career choice. uh, this is again a very famous slide, signal versus noise. This is from Basecamp founder, very famous personality. Uh, Now, this was not very relevant when we were doing engineering, and I'm surprised myself that it's almost like 16, 17 years when I passed out of engineering. So time flies. So some 15, 16 years back, I mean, the internet was not so pervasive the way it is today. We used to use floppy disk during those days, and the the only email system was Yahoo, and we used to get just 1 MB in Yahoo, and we used to really struggle. We used to submit assignments in floppy disk, and most of the things were written. So we used to write a lot with hand, which has changed a lot in the current era, where there is hardly anything which is written. You just type it and you just copy paste, and you have infinite uh, bandwidth, and you have infinite connection with internet and your hard disk, etc., etc. Now, uh, everything comes with good and bad, and while we used to struggle for these things in when we were studying, but today students struggle with a lot of distraction. So which is where I try to say that you have to identify the signals in the noise. There is too much noise out there in everything we do in life, whether it is about your career choices. You have too many career choices, you have too many food choices, you have too many choices when you are spending your time. You have too many. Everything is quick and now, so you can watch thousands of movies on a Netflix, whereas 20 years back you had to struggle to even get one movie. So because of this constant consumption kind of a lifestyle today, you are heavily distracted, and that is sometime which is which is very bad in different ways. You might be doing things which you might not be, which you should not be doing. You might be doing too many things without doing anything deeply. Doesn't work. So I strongly suggest that try to reduce the distraction as much as possible. Try to focus upon few things which you like. Try to reduce your time on Instagrams, on the Facebooks, etc., etc., because they are okay for some some time, but they are really not okay for a long time. They really doesn't add any true value to your life. So yeah. Uh, so again, you as I mentioned, that you don't need to be the best student, or you don't need to be the best guy in the class, or the best guy in particular subject or in particular sports. You try your best and keep the rest to the destiny. uh, I mean, make sure that you try your best, but don't get over obsessed or don't get finicky about that. You always have to achieve the best. Let go things which you are not able to achieve. It's okay. Because the life is long, and you will have ample opportunities in your life to make your mark in the next leg of your life. So treat your entire 4 years of education as a journey rather than a destination. Don't get over obsessed with a job in Google, or the best paying job and so on. Enjoy the journey, because these days won't come again. uh, and then maintain a fine balance between your journey and your dream. So that's what I'm trying to tell from this slide. Now, this is a famous book, and when this book was written, the world was just getting flat. When I say the world is getting flat, not in terms of the geographical shape and size of the world, that is still round and will always remain round. But what I mean here is that the world has become flat in the way we kind of interact and consume things. So, and then this entire lockdown and the COVID situation has proven it beyond limits that the world is actually very, very flat. So today I am doing this session sitting out of Bangalore. And then there might be people who would be doing these sessions from different parts of the world. We are extremely connected without being actually connected physically. Uh, and hence this is creating a lot of career opportunities for students, which really did not exist 20 years back. Because uh, 20 years back, somebody who wants to work in, let's say, London, was expected to travel to London, maybe expected to study from London and so on. But now it is very pervasive. So you can actually do a lot of things without being physically present. You can actually learn a lot of things without being physically present. So you can take an online course from Stanford or the Harvards without being actually going to Harvard, and then you can add a lot of value in your career and your learning without, and then just consume internet content. So that is what I mean by the world is flat. That it gives you ample opportunities if you leverage it the right way. uh, Now this is something very important, and this is something which I used to do a lot during my college, both engineering as well as MBA. See, many times you students start fearing from failures. They are so very obsessed with success that they really forget to experiment. Um, but believe me that college time is your best time for experiment, because the real work life won't give you a lot of time to experiment, because in the work life you have to deliver, and it is a live world. So it's not a dress rehearsal, or it is not an audition. You really have to deliver when you are out there in the job, or out there in the real life. uh, so use your college time to experiment with your ideas, experiment with your interest, because as students you may not be really aware that whether you want a career in computer science, or whether you want to go for higher studies, or whether you should do an MBA, or whether you should go for a sports kind of a thing, you are not really clear. And it's perfectly fine that you are not clear, but don't waste the time not to identify that, because once you are in the job life, it is a rat race, and you may not get time to kind of discover yourself. So try to experiment, try to maybe do something whichever you are interested. If you fail at that, it is perfectly fine, move to the next. But if you don't even try, then you will regret it, that you did not try in your life later. So try to use this time. uh, yeah, so this is something which I can relate to very well. I was not a very fitness freak during my engineering time, and I really regret for that, especially in engineering. But good that I got a great friend post my engineering when I started my job at Yahoo. uh, I my roommate was very fitness freak guy, and then he started taking me out for runs and gym and so on. And that is when I started developing a huge interest in anything to do with fitness, whether it is yoga, whether it is um, sports and gym and so on. So uh, fitness is very important for your longevity in life, and your lot of things lot of things in life are related with fitness. So if you're fit, you are able to enjoy your life. You are not fit, then with whatever money or whatever success you have in life, you won't be able to enjoy. So make fitness as a favorite hobby, and start it now rather than kind of delaying it. Uh, Take any fitness hobby which can be related with running or sports or yoga or anything, but do indulge in fitness. It will you will just love it. uh, do what you can with what you have and where you are. Again, very important, and I can again relate it to this statement very well, because when I entered into PEC, I had a lot of choices apart from PEC. So I had got an admission choice from BITS Pilani. I also got an admission in IITs. I also was getting NIT Trichy, Warangal, and I was also getting some medical colleges, because I both had PCMB. So I actually scored in medical as well. So I had too many choices when I was choosing post 12th class. But I was not able to crack say something like computer science, or something in IIT Delhi, or something which I was really looking for post 12th class. And then I was slightly unwell during my exams in 12th. So I actually wasn't very happy post 12th and during my entire first year, despite being on a scholarship during first year in PEC, and one of the top rankers during college. I was really not enjoying PEC, because I was always in the mindset that, hey, why not IIT, why not IIT? So I was always in a comparison mode. uh, and because of that, uh, I really wasn't I mean, I wasn't enjoying it so very well. I could have enjoyed, and that was a big lesson for me. And that actually changed from my second year in engineering. But my I actually missed out my first year, just being slightly gloomy, thinking about these things. So but today, if I see in hindsight, I think my decision was a very good decision. I did fantastic post my engineering. I'm having a great career today, and I have some of the best memories of my life from my engineering college. I have some of the best friends from engineering. So uh, enjoy what you have rather than thinking too much about what you don't have. Is very important. Don't get into comparison modes, because if you enjoy what you have, you will actually get the right results at the right time. And I have maybe one or two more slides. Yeah, this is again very important, and I'll tell you a incident that when we were in college, we used to hang around with friends very often, and there are hardly any mobile phones. So there was only one guy in my entire batch who used to have a mobile phone, that big Motorola mobile phone, which is almost like half a kg. Uh, and he used to be a superhero because we used to kind of borrow his mobile phone to make some calls, etc., etc. But in the hindsight, if I say that today, I'm sure that you guys are glued to your mobile phone. So even when you are together, you are not actually together. And this is something which we observed when we were in Punjab Engineering College. Some 30 friends of our batch, we went to college in 2019, and we visited every part of the college, and we were very we were kind of disappointed that when we went to the hostels, people were just looking at their devices despite being sitting together, which never used to happen when we were in college. Just used to kind of have fun and sports and everything together. So I'm saying that don't get busy in clicking those photographs in your mobile phone and storing for your later life, because your later life would never come. So enjoy that true time with your friends. Make some true friends rather than some social media friends, because these are the guys who will stay with you in your life when you turn older, when you need those real help from these guys. So and I am very fortunate that I made some of my best friends during both engineering and MBA, and I have a bunch of friends, and we go together very well today. We keep meeting even my school friends. So because these are the treasures of your life, don't miss this out. And the last one, the base of all things is love and respect. Uh, don't miss out on love and respect, irrespective of whether you are a topper in the college or whether you get the best of jobs. Love and respect your colleagues, love and respect your teachers. I know that as students, we will always make fun of some of our teachers, which is fine, because during those days, that is how it happens. But fun is fine, but respect is important, and then don't mix fun and respect. It's important to respect and give the right love to your colleagues and to your near and dear ones, because that is how you will be at peace. So yeah, so I'm done with my so-called gyan. If there are any questions, I would be happy to kind of take those questions. Your questions can be as blunt as you want. I mean, I will be very true to my answers. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir, for such an insightful talk. I mean, it was very wholesome in nature, the way you talked about larger things in life besides professional success. And I'm sure the students of PEC have learned a lot from the session. With that, I think we can have a few questions we have had from the audience for you. I'll start with the first question, sir. You talked about the golden circle of why, how, and what, right? So, and you mentioned how the why part of it is the basic core and how it's very important. So, would you like to share with us the why of your career and like when you started your company? So, what was the motivation and inspiration behind your professional success?
Yeah. So when I started my own company, I mean, the why was a couple of things. One was I was lucky enough to start my career with Yahoo, and then later on with Flipkart. And both these companies are very famous for their entrepreneurial culture. The culture in itself was very startup and very entrepreneurial, and that actually motivated me a lot to start myself. And then the second thing was, I come from a business family. I've seen business in my family all my life, and I was always wishing to start something of my own and then giving it back to the society. And then that has been my motivation to start something of my own.
Okay, thank you. So the next question we have is, like you talked about how sometimes we experience failures in life and we basically have to keep on moving on. So one thing we experience extensively in engineering colleges is that during the placement and internship cycles, a lot of students experience rejection from many companies. And since it's the first time we are interviewing for something as big as getting a job, so it becomes a very dejecting experience sometimes, and we lose hope that we'll be able to get something better. So any advice you would like to give to the fresh students who are going to appear for jobs in the few coming months?
Yeah, sure. So I can understand that, and I know that when we were in college, we used to have similar anxiety. Um, but I mean, I will also sound slightly philosophical here. Uh, See, uh, what really matters at the end of the day when you come out of college is number one, jobs are a way of life. I mean, if you don't get it today, you will get it tomorrow. I mean, the world doesn't end tomorrow. uh, Many times you might land into a job, and then after a year you might get something better. uh, so if you have the right talent, and if you are aware that this is something which you are really good at, people and jobs will actually pick you. They will run after you to pick you because they know that you are extremely good in that thing. So I would suggest that when you are in college, try to be a master of one thing. It is okay to be a jack of all trades, but you have to have a mastery in at least one or two things. So you can be a master of spoken skills, that you are somebody who can impress anyone with your spoken English. Or you can be a master of, let's say, analytics, where you are very good in Excel sheets and R and so on. Or you can be a master of, let's say, Python or whatever, PHP. So be a master of one thing, because that is what the world is looking for. Companies don't want to hire people who know some bit of things here and there, because there are too many people who are, I mean, the your artificial intelligence and all your NLPs are doing those low level jobs these days. So humans are now expected to do mastery in subjects. Otherwise, it will be even tougher in the next few years. So don't get dejected. I mean, just keep applying to companies, and just apply to the right companies with the right message. Because let's say, for example, if I am a founder, and I will tell you an incident from PEC itself. Last year, one student from PEC applied to our college. He actually did not join, which is okay. But he applied. I think he was from computer science, and then he applied for digital marketing. And then I asked him this question, that you are a computer science student, do you really know anything about digital marketing? And he was extremely confident, and he told that, so why don't you take my interview, and then I can prove you that I know a lot in digital marketing. And when I actually interviewed that guy, I was really surprised that he knew so much about digital marketing, that it reflected that he had spent huge amount of time building his expertise on that. And I was so very happy, and we actually gave him an offer within a day with a very good salary. So so companies are looking for people who are good in what they are doing. If you are just an average guy, people won't hire you. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So, like, basically, you were saying that we need to find what we are good at, right? So, on the same lines, like, we have another question. Like, when you enter college, there are so many things that are happening, like so many clubs, societies, and even in the companies also, there are so many choices. So, as an engineering student, it becomes sometimes really confusing to actually find out where should I try and when should I try. So, any advice you'd like to give to the students who are in college about how can they find what they're good at and turn that into their profession?
Yeah, so I discussed this in one of my slides, that you have to find the signals in the noise. So the world today is giving you too many signals, and that's a problem. That one is you are getting signals in the college, but apart from that, you keep getting signals in your mobile and your laptops. I mean, every few seconds you are getting some or the other message, some WhatsApp, and the fear of missing out, that okay, if I don't go to this club, I'll miss out something. If I'm not part of this society, I'll miss out. And then that fear always keeps going on. I would suggest that, and very strongly suggest that, stay away from all this distraction. I'm not saying that become a sadhu or a saint while doing that, but I'm saying that just join the ones which you actually are interested to join. So if you are somebody who is interested in editorials, then join the editorial board. Um, if you're somebody who is interested in arts, maybe join the arts, whatever arts society, and do something in arts. The arts society may not be the great society, and it is not a sexy society to be a part of, but you join it and you make it glamorous, and you make it special. So yeah.
Sure. So, sir, would you like to share with us which societies or clubs were you a part of, like back in PEC when you were graduating?
Yeah, so if I was part of the editorial board, and then I was part of another society. I forgot, but I was definitely part of the editorial board. And then we
Okay.
actually and those days editorial board was not a very popular society, but we actually took it to a good height. Yeah, I hope things are well today as well. But yeah, I mean,
Right, right.
society, no society, doesn't matter. I mean, follow what your passion is.
Thank you, sir. So, sir, like you have graduated from IIM, which is one of the most prestigious universities in India, and so many students of PEC also aim to do an MBA from IIM. So, any advice you'd like to give to the students who are preparing or wish to join institutes of such caliber?
Yeah, so first is figure out that why do you want to join somebody like something like an IM, or maybe if you want to do an MS from outside India, or maybe do a PhD from IIT, etc., etc. Because don't have a herd mentality. Ki, if that guy is doing, I will also do the same thing. Because my senior told that join IM and then you will get a great consulting or a Lehman Brothers kind of a job, and you will make millions of dollars. Don't do that. And then, especially today, engineering talent is in extremely high demand. So an MBA is not even important today, because engineering is so very high in demand. So uh, I mean, it depends upon what career choice you want to build. So if you are deeply interested in building a career in consulting or marketing or finance, etc., then MBA definitely helps. But if you want to build a career into UI, UX design, etc., maybe you should take a course in NID rather than IIM. So yeah.
Okay. Sir, so like you talked about discovering what career path someone fits in. So talking in the same lines, if a student wants to discover the field of entrepreneurship or wants to try and see if they fit in, what are the first initial basic steps somebody as a college undergrad should take to see if they fit in this industry?
Yeah, so see, there is a popular saying that insights are in your sight. So basically, a lot of ideas are in front of you. You just have to kind of open your eyes and ears to see those ideas. I'll give you an example way back from my MBA college. And an MBA, I did my MBA from 2007 to 9, when there was nothing like a Swiggy or a Zomato those days. So, I mean, food in colleges is always bad. We all know this fact, and we were also victims of that. So the IM mess food was really really bad, or it was good, but we did not like it, because you are bored of the same food every day. So. Uh, and then there was a canteen which was our place to hang out, and it used to give us great food. But then there was a guy who he thought that, hey, can I make it better? And he found that problem that 99% of the students don't like food in the college. They want to have something else. And those days there was no Swiggy and Zomato, so he built a small app to and opened it only for the IM students to take the orders and pass it on to some restaurants nearby. So and I think they are still doing that business in that region. So a small idea and made a business out of it. So I guess entrepreneurship is not in a textbook. I mean, it is hit and trial. I mean, if you keep hitting and trying, you will reach your right idea in some days. I mean, you will fail many times, which is perfectly fine. I mean, nobody is going to shoot you when you fail. It's okay.
Right. Since you had also had a few years of job experience before you started something of your own, so do you think working in corporate in these companies can help somebody who wants to start on their own? Like, how does working under someone helps later on when they want to build something like afterwards?
Yeah, so it actually helps a lot. Number one, because you try to figure out your why when you are working. Because when you are working, you actually, that is your first hand experience of really knowing the world. You don't know the real world when you are in college. The college world is a very fancy, dreamy kind of a world. Though you guys might not, right now you might be saying that why is this stupid saying that college is a fancy world. We are struggling in college, but that is not actually the case. College life is a great nice life. The life after college is not so nice. Um, so I think some years in your work life actually gives you more clarity, and at the same time it also tells you how to work when you are leading a company. Because when you are founding a company, you should actually know how to work with your colleagues, how to lead a team, how to put the HR practices, how to have the right employment policies, and so on. And that experience really helps. Otherwise, you might be doing some wrong things, which may turn out to be very wrong. And there are great examples. Companies like housing.com, started by some 9 to 10 freshers out of engineering from IIT, and those guys were freshers without really disrespecting them, but they did not have any experience, and then that was reflecting in their business. I mean, they could not really scale it up. They made very simple cultural human errors, which a mature person would not really do. So those are the things which you learn when you are at job.
Right, right. Thank you. So, like you talked about how the college actually comfortable. So, like we understand that the environment we are living in currently in college is actually very happy kind of environment. And step into corporate, it's going to be a big change for us. So, would you like give any advice to us? Like, how should we cope up with a sudden transition in the environment that we're going to have?
Yeah. So I hope I am my voice is clear, because your voice is breaking a bit. Maybe you have a slightly bad network. uh, so one thing which you should definitely do in your college is at least do it 2 to 3 internships, because the internships are your gateway to the real work life. Internships help you a lot to give you a first-hand experience how companies really work. And I know certain colleges which have a very fantastic internship program, and we hire a lot from these colleges. So for example, bits Pilani has a fantastic internship program. They give 6 months, 6 months for students to just go to go to companies and have a first-hand experience. Then a lovely professional university in Punjab, they give a 1 year internship, which is a great way of students to know how work happens. And I really appreciate these colleges taking these steps, because I mean, bookish knowledge helps, but it doesn't help so much. It's the real work life which really gives you a lot of insights in how things work, especially in the dynamic world today, when your books are getting stale every single year. What you read yesterday, it may not be relevant today, because that is the speed with which technology, etc., is changing. So I think get more and more internships, and then you will find it very easy to get into a job when you have internships during college.
Right, right. Can you hear me? Like, is it my voice
Yeah.
is audible? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So one question that I think is asked like to everyone these days about how their experience has been in the pandemic last year, professionally and personally. So would you like to share with us, like, what are the biggest changes you felt or your personal life, and how did you cope up with it?
Yeah, so personally, I did not have a great year because I lost my mom in pandemic due to Corona. So personally, not a great year for us as a family. But yeah, I mean, professionally, it has been a great year. I mean, one of the best years in our company. We did better than what we were doing in the last few years, both in our revenues as well as in our number of clients we acquired. In every dimension, we scored very well professionally. We hired a lot of people. We opened up new geographies and so on. So uh, professionally, it has been a great year. Personally, it has been a disappointing year for me as well as a lot of people we all know in the world. It has not been a great year personally. Yeah.
Right. Thank you, sir, for sharing with us. So, so a few last questions about PEC, since we are uh, connecting with you over PECFest 2020. So, what is the one thing that you miss the most about our college, and some memory that you think was the best, like during your time?
So I was a hostler. I'm not sure if you guys are hostlers. So one thing I would definitely advise everyone who is listening to this call is that spend at least 1 year of your life in hostel, because you will never ever get that kind of a life in your entire life. uh, Hostel is a different experience altogether. I mean, that is the best part of your life. And I was so very lucky to be part of the hostel for 4 years. And there are so many memories. Even one of the PEC Fest, if I recall it right, it was my third year, was a great PEC Fest. uh, I There was that singing night and so on.
Yes.
It was a great time. And we had a lot of fun going to sector 11 and that Gedi route and those nice food places. And we used to go to this hotel in sector 10. I forgot the name. And then so on. So yeah, I mean, there are a lot of memories. And we try to visit Chandigarh and the college some or the other time whenever we are all together. So yeah, just to refreshen our memories. And yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to hear like you're feeling nostalgic about your time at PEC and all the little elements that are actually still pretty much the same here. So, sir, one last question for you. We got to know that you are like an avid reader and also write. So, are there any books that you would like to suggest to the audience who are mostly the students of PEC? So, anything they can read that you liked a lot?
Yeah, so I definitely read and write. And there are so many books of different types and different age groups. uh, it depends. Um,
Right.
but yeah, I mean, which book you can read now? Maybe there is a book. I'll give you 2 3 books, and maybe you can choose whatever works. There is a book from Sadhguru, Inner Engineering, a very great book. Um, uh, Inner Engineering from Sadhguru, Isha Foundation. That's a great book. Another great book is uh, Start with Why. This is something which is written by Simon, and one of the best books to kind of discover yourself. And yeah, then there are a couple of other slightly more easy books which you guys can read. But yeah, I mean, if anyone has some habit of reading or maybe even listening, do try to read and listen, or maybe documentaries, etc., because that can change your perspectives. Otherwise, you might be in a fool's paradise for a long time, which is not really a great thing to be in. So yeah.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your recommendations. It's been a great event connecting with you, listening to all your experiences. So would you like to say anything at the end? Because like these were the questions from our side and we enjoyed a lot.
Yes, I said a lot. I mean, I would just say that um, I guess you all must be kind of feeling bad about losing this 1 year in front of your laptops and not connecting with your friends, etc., in the college. Uh, but this entire situation is a man-made situation. I mean, this entire Corona. So when you are back to college, I would say that make true human connections. Try to reduce Facebook and increase FaceTime because that is what will stay with you forever in your life.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. It's been wonderful. Thank you for sharing your experiences and journeys and for answering so many questions we have had today. So really great connecting with you. Hope we have further events in the future just like these one. So that's it from our side. Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Thanks, Preet. Thanks, Chirag and the entire team. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thanks.